Hi, everyone. It's a long-lost Jamie here. It's been a long time. Thanks for having me again.
Glad to have you back in the show. I haven't been back in Bali for a bit. That's why she hasn't been able to join me on this episode, because we just love it when she joins, right?
Do you? I don't know. Actually, I've read some comments, and thank you for them.
Oh yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
up with the comments. I love reading the comments. It's a lot of it is a lot of support and encouragement, and really means a lot to us when we see and hear from you guys about how these messages are beginning to impact your life. But today we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to us, right, Jay?
Yes, we're going to talk about why we're working. Are we working for ourselves or our family?
Yeah.
Basically, I feel like we get lost in it, and Sang got out of the rat race, but did he really? Did you truly get out of the rat race?
Well, that's the thing, right? People think that the rat race is just a corporate, big company job, but that's really not the rat race. There's a rat race in startup life, and there's a rat race in small business and entrepreneurial life. That's a myth, right?
Yeah, even in nonprofit work.
And the thing is, what happens is you have to make this decision about how much time you're going to spend with your children and your family, and what the trade-offs are with your kids. And it's just really tough. You think like, okay, in the company job, you're spending a lot of time with, not at home with your kids, but that's not true, right, Jay? Like, I'm not in a big company job, but...
No, so Sang has been here for like 2.5 weeks, and this is the first time I've seen him. He's always working. So like, my son came home the other day. He's like, why is Daddy here? I was like, I don't know. Because like, he doesn't hang out with us. He's busy just on the computer working.
Yeah, and, it's not easy, right? Because there's stuff to do, and you have all these deadlines and things you've set up to meet. And again, it doesn't happen just in corporate. It happens outside of corporate life, as you pursue your dreams. And this is actually the first time we went out together. I mean, over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks I've been here, and we haven't done anything together except today. And I'm heading back to Singapore tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Friday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, today's Thursday. See, I lost track. So basically, because I'm a single mother, and my son has been sick. He gets sick like almost every month here. And we had a situation that we couldn't find him. So he got lost, and we were on a very important phone call for FoFty to get it going with business ventures, to get the word out. And there was 10 people on the call. So Sang's like, okay, Jamie, you stay here on the call, and I will go find him. I'm like, no, he needs his mother and father.
Yeah.
Since you were here, he needed both of us. And actually, the person we were on the phone, the call with, basically said, no, go with him. And he doesn't even have any kids, I don't think. So I'm glad I went because Sang couldn't find him. So at the end of the day, what comes first is your family.
Well, at the end of the day, we found him. That's the thing.
I found him, not you.
And
so
the point is that you have to really have a priority straight, and you can get lost in whatever you do. And it's extra tricky for us because I'm not in Bali all the time. I'm here like at most, a little less than half the time. And so she's pretty much alone with the kids. And when I am here, I'm like super busy as well. So then, it kind of hurt me when the kid asked, not me, but, my wife, like, why is Daddy here? And it's because I'm so darn busy. And so you just need to take a chill pill and relax.
It actually hurts me too, because I planned this little retreat, so to speak, and we only hung out for a couple hours. Like, we did an overnight stay. My son didn't want us to leave because he misses his father. So he thinks when I leave, I'm going to disappear. And we got out late. We got here, beautiful place. And what do we do at night? We had a meeting with someone, and then we had a FoFty support group on Discord. And then today, what did we do? We did something for the parent association at my son and daughter's
Well, that was
school.
for the kids, though.
Yeah, that was for the kids.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about alone time. I'm part of the family. It's not just your kids, it's your spouse too.
True.
So even or your parents or whoever is important to you in your family, you need to take time out to be with them, because the number one...
But how do you take time out though, Jay? Like, so you've got all these competing priorities. They're all important. That's why we had to do the parents association thing with your children this morning. So you can't not attend that, right? Or how do you work it out then?
It's easy. You have a schedule, so you have a balance of personal, your different priorities. So your kids, for yourself, self-care. That's something I'm lacking, is self-care, and your work. You need to prioritize things, put it into the calendar, and have a schedule, so to speak.
Well, I got to tell you, I have a schedule, but the trouble is not having a schedule. The trouble is following it.
you're overbooked though.
So how do you deal with that? Like, you know.
How do you deal with that? Again, you have to balance it.
See, I'm seeking her guidance here.
Sometimes you have to say no to things. So for me, I'm a humanitarian, and I keep helping, and supporting, that I'm forgetting about myself. And I'm forgetting about I'm there for my children, but sometimes I'm just way too busy helping other people that I'm not helping I'm not 100% with my kid. I am a very good mother, but maybe there's like 5%.
I think you hit it right there when you said sometimes you have to know when to say no.
Yes, that's difficult for me.
Right. So learning how to say no is super underrated. It's actually like a really important skill to have, whatever you do. The ability to be able to say no, it matters whatever you're doing. So it could be like social, like with your family members. Like you have to know when to say no to your family. You have to even know how to say no to your friends. And then obviously at work and other professional matters or career-related things, you also have to say no to. And it's, you know, we want to say yes because we want to make people happy.
Yes.
And that's what most people end up doing, unless you're just like a negative or, you know, mean person. But we try to be nice, right? And that's why it's so hard to say no.
And it actually goes back to the principle of being your true self, right? And the number one regret people have on their deathbed is living life for basically everyone else except yourself.
Yeah, you're living someone else's life and not yours.
Exactly.
And that happens when you basically don't stand up for yourself, right?
Yes, that's hard, because when you stand up for yourself, there might be people that just will never see you for who you are, and then they attack you, and then you take on that energy and you carry it on, and then again with the self-care, I'm lacking that, so to speak.
But people confuse saying no as being mean, but that's not the case, right? That's the problem people have, is they believe like by saying no they're not being a nice person. Actually, that's not true, right? It depends, right? If you're just saying no for the sake of saying no, yes, it is. But if you're saying no because of like you need to spend time with your children or other like similar important matters in life, then you're not being mean to anyone. You're just actually being true to yourself. Right? Yeah. And just being like genuine and authentic about, look, I got these things going on. I can't do X, Y, and Z. And that's just me, right? Like, there's no like hard feelings about it. It's not personal. I don't have an issue with you. It's not like I don't like you.
Exactly. So you have to understand when people are really not wanting to help because of their own issues or reasoning. And then there's other times that people really do want to help, but they just can't because they're overflowing with other things that they're doing. And on top of that, being a single mom, on top of that, you know, because I am a single mom when you're in here, on top of that, you know, just working and doing nonprofit work.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, I have this problem too, where I feel like I have to continue doing whatever the work because I feel like by doing the work, I'm going to help the family and the kids, because then we'll become successful and have, you know, be able to live a comfortable life. So that's why I'm using like more work as the excuse to take time away from the family. And that's also dangerous, right? Because you're actually doing more damage to the family by doing that. Even though in your mind, you're thinking by doubling down and working even harder on helping the family.
And you know what? It's a generational thing. So let's say you're a hard worker. Like for instance, I could use your dad. Is that okay?
Sure.
So his dad is a diplomat. He worked for the World Asian.
He was a diplomat. He's like way retired.
Okay, now. But now he's working for nonprofit work. He's still doing it at 98. As you can see, we did a video. But saying like he was saving the world basically. But was he always like at home? He did some stuff for you, but was he more working?
Yeah, my dad wasn't like home all the time because he was always abroad on missions. But one thing I do remember about, you know, so now I'm recalling like when I was a kid, was that when he was home, he did make time to spend with me, like either helping me study. Like he would actually, I remember this, he would take time out of his work and drive all the way to my school to give me lunch. And then we would eat lunch together in the car while he kind of like went through the, you know, because I was going to take a test or exam like in elementary school and even middle school. And he would show up for lunch. Like it was like an hour and a half drive from his work.
You didn't tell me that.
I never did.
You learn something new every day. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he would do that. So like I really appreciated it. Even so, But the question I have to ask myself is, am I doing that? Like, I don't know, right? Okay, my kids are still young, but that's something I at least want to get to.
Actually, you could bring up the story about when you were teaching Jacob reading and you got mad at him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think parents go through this. But yeah, I got frustrated. You know, Jacob's in first grade and he has to learn how to read simple books. And I got really frustrated that, you know, we spent an hour on one word. And I just got annoyed, right, that he couldn't get it. And in the moment, I was like, I was just like irritated.
Well, you were annoyed because you were doing your work. You were at a computer.
No, I wasn't doing work. I was actually focused on it. You weren't home, but I told you about it. But you know, it wasn't the computer. It was just he just couldn't get it, and I just got really irritated. And then after that, like, you know, in the heat of the moment, I felt that way. But after that, I kind of felt guilty, right? I was like, oh, you know, that's not the way to. And actually, I apologized to the kid. I mean, he's 6 years old, but I also wanted to apologize to make sure that he knew that when I recognized like I went overboard or did something that probably wasn't correct, like based on what I'm trying to teach him, like, because they're smart, these kids, right? They know like when you're not practicing what you preach. I make sure to go and apologize to him so he knows. Yeah.
Well, at least you apologize. Some people don't apologize, and they think by, you know, actually how you used to be with me. Yeah. You used to say like in the Asian culture that you just work really hard and you give the wife like, you know, support, like financial support.
Yeah.
And that you don't really spend time with the wife. So I'm like, no, I'd rather have some time with you than financial support.
But that's kind of like, I guess, kind of the old school way. Like, for example, in Korea, like the wife controls the money in the house and the husband's duty is just to like, just work. I mean, even in like other cultures, like in Philippines, like the father or whatever goes out and like, you know, finds a job and doesn't come home for like a year, right? And sends money home.
Yeah, it's hard.
And that's what you're supposed to do. And they have no choice. They have to do that. So like the thing is, you know, if you don't have to do that and you have other options, then you should definitely like take advantage of it and not basically just go overboard and waste away your life without spending it with your family. And it's very easy to do that.
It is. So that's something that we are actually working on together separately. Because you don't really have, you have self-care a little bit, but you're not as you need more self-care.
I need more. Look, we're all a work in progress. And the whole point of these videos is to just show like everyday people like ourselves how we're battling through it and trying to learn and get better through it so that, you know, you can watch this and see how it applies to your own life. Like, we're not some like perfect couple or
no one's perfect.
or
no
like,
one, believe
you know,
me.
pretending to be like
We're
we have
not
a perfect life and all
Yeah.
that. We're just everyday people just sharing so you know that you're not alone and you can kind of like get some comfort in that as we go through it together. And it's not an easy journey, right? Like I already explained or told you stories about how I screwed up a few times here and there, but I'm trying to get better. And same thing for you, Jamie. And together we hope to get to a point where, you know, we find the right balance.
Yeah, so I actually picked this topic because I thought it was very important.
She wanted to talk about this and I totally agreed.
And we did not plan this. It's just what came out of our mouths.
This is actually the second video I did today. I'm wearing the same shirt. So my earlier video, if you see me, I'm wearing the same shirt. It's the same day. I don't have BO. I'm not wearing the same shirt like 3 days later.
Beautiful area.
But remember, keep the balance. And the key is learn how and when to say no so that you do it in a way that's genuine and authentic to yourself. And don't worry about what other people say, because if you do it authentically and you're doing it for the good of your family and yourself, then there's nothing to be worried about, right?
Exactly. Just go with the flow and be you. Having said that, we're going to head back to this beautiful scenery. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.